experience. What's up, guys? Back once again with co-host Patrick, and I'm Joshua Gaines. Hope you guys are having a great day out there today. Hope everybody had a safe 4th
of July.
And America. So let's get into it.
What's up, Josh?
What's been going on?
Man, hard riding the roads,
Yeah, just out. It's beautiful out there, man. Today, it's been terrible. Last 3 months here, it's just been raining and raining and raining.
We literally had 90 days of rain. Like, it feels so good to have consistent sunshine. I feel like I'm 3 months behind just in general because of all the resistance from the rain that causes delays in certain plans. So, but it's all good because, living in Georgia, it's like being in a narcissist relationship, bipolar, you just don't know what you're going to get when you wake up.
Yeah, and I was in Tennessee yesterday and up that way, and it was just beautiful. It's just a beautiful drive up through the Ocoee River, watching everyone raft and having such a good time out there. And man, we were talking about that rafting, and I don't know about it.
Well, the Tennessee River that runs all the way up through Knoxville, fishing is welcome, but it's actually oversaturated with kayakers and other water sports. I didn't realize how active that river, has become over the years.
Yeah, it was really crowded up there. They have those huge buses that carry kayakers from one end to the other, and of course they have these huge inflatable kayaks or rafting. So
yeah, it's almost like if you've been to Helen and you've seen the Helen tubers. They got the school buses that obviously to their logos, but you got that big trailer behind you that's carrying all the tubes. So in a way, it's a reflection of a very similar concept, but you have kayakers instead of tubers.
Yeah, I saw a funny meme the other day about Helen. It was like, this is what everybody thinks Georgia looks like, and it was like a whole picture full of inner tubes, tubers. He went tubing down the river.
Tubers. Instead of leafers, we got tubers.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to go to Helen and tube if it's if the water is up a little bit, but when it's low, it sucks.
You really drag it out.
Yeah, literally.
Especially if you're a heavier person like myself, heavyweight at 280, and you literally drag to the ground. And you just collect all the rocks all the way. And you ask yourself, it's no longer fruit of the loom, just like rocks in the crotch,
Rocks in the crotch all day long.
Changed the whole brand of underwear under 3 minutes.
I had my whole back. It was like somebody took a piece of sandpaper and scrubbed it bad. Man, jeez.
Man, didn't have to wipe for a week after that.
Scrubbed it off on a rock.
How's everybody doing out there? Hope everybody had a good 4th.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say God bless America. God bless our troops. God bless everyone out there working hard. And if you're supporting your family, it doesn't matter what you're doing in life. If you're doing the right thing and you're trying hard and you're making a living at it, and you have small kids and you're supporting them, we'll give you a big hand.
I want to say thank you for your service to all the armed forces out there, and a special thank you to the doctors and nurses that are out there, because there's tons of accidents. I don't know if you saw, but there was an actual explosion on Lake Lanier in Hall County, a family of 4, and one of them was a 5-year-old child that was somewhat disturbed. I don't think he was actually injured, but to have a 5-year-old that close to an accident,
Yeah.
I just sent a big prayer and condolences out to the family, and hopefully everyone turns out all right. Don't know all the details, but I do know from what I read online from Channel 2 that it could have been a lot worse, but it was still pretty bad.
Yeah, and funny you say that. There was another explosion here on Lake Notley.
No way.
Yeah, on the 4th, and it injured 7 people.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty wild.
Man, you just never know, guys. So be careful on that lake.
And too, for the people who don't know, we're in Georgia, and the lakes we're talking about are local lakes, Lake Lanier and Lake Notley. Lake Lanier is in Gainesville, Georgia, and Lake Notley is in Blairsville, Georgia. So, and they're probably about an hour and 45 minutes apart. So,
I actually was fishing Lake Talico, which is right off the Tennessee River, and the wind was blowing so hard that you could barely, you literally have to put triple weights on the fishing to even cast. So our fishing trip got cut short.
okay. Yeah, but we were going to watch fireworks last night, and it started raining again. Of course, came a huge thunderstorm, and we were home by then. So we just said, "Nah, we'll just stay home now." And I'm assuming they still had the fireworks show, but there were plenty of people out there. I mean, hundreds of people at the park over there, and they had their little tents up and everything, and it's just, and a lot of people, they just bring their lawn chairs and set up and watch it, and so I imagine a lot of those people got really wet.
Another aspect of that is, you guys are, not just homeowners, but pet owners. So, dogs have that anxiety. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise that you guys were actually here.
Yeah, and, I think it affects our dog Bailey more than it does Maisie. Maisie is like a big goofball. Big lovey-dovey goofball. And I don't think she much affects her,
That's great.
But Bailey, she has, and I'm talking about our 2 dogs. Bailey has anxiety issues where she loud noises when come thunderstorms and stuff. She whines, and same thing with fireworks. But for one day, she'll just have to whine because those guys over there doing all the fighting for us, they get to hear it all the time.
Yeah, exactly, and definitely not downplaying any of the PTSD that comes from that. But like in our neighborhood, if you're planning on setting off fireworks, like HOA has a designated area.
Yeah.
Because there's so many homeowners, pet owners, and their pets have true anxiety over these fireworks. So
Yeah.
you can't just go out and just shoot them anywhere. They have designated areas that are approved through HOA, and to each his own. But I think I don't see an animal necessarily having PTSD over fireworks, but it is good to be there to comfort them while they're kind of worried about it.
Well, even like when we used to hunt growing up, we hunted with dogs a lot, and some dogs, if you shot a gun, they were gone.
They were
They were out. We were out of here. But a lot of them it wouldn't bother. But you get one, and we called it gun shy, being gun shy, because if you had a real good hunting dog, don't matter how good it was, if it couldn't do its job when you shot, it wasn't that good. I mean, you just didn't need it. So, but Yeah.
That's an interesting turn. I like that turn, gunshot.
Yes.
I went on a date with a girl one time, and she nicknamed me gunshot. kidding, all right.
All right.
Hope
So
everybody-
what's been going on in Big Deville over there?
Dawsonville's booming, man. We got huge developments going on, as we spoke on previous episodes. From Dawsonville to Cumming is feeling like north of Atlanta now, so it's ever expanding. But I feel like 400. You know, the great thing about, even though you can't help if there's a car wreck or a car breaks down at any point, you're gonna have traffic backup. But for the most part, it's predictable, so you're able to kind of navigate in between those times to get home after work and get your groceries done before you get caught up on 2-hour traffic and a 15-minute drive. So, luckily I'm able to kind of get through the suffering of that type of traffic. But that being said, on the flip side, I did hear that they're going to be more open to local business like taverns and moonshiners and a new barbecue place as possible. So looking forward to a couple of things around there.
Yeah, I think our local distillery here, Granddaddy Mims, they're going to put a new distillery over there also. Last time I talked to the people over there.
That's right. You were talking about that earlier. We went in there and visited earlier today, guys, and it's such a low-key vibe. It's so relaxing, but at the same time, the energy's there to socialize. So you don't feel so much pressured or exposed to just necessarily get up and just talk to whoever. But it is kind of nice to be like a slow disclosure on, kind of just get in and get a good feel of what's going on. And, you're around the same type of people that you can vibe with.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's like a cozy atmosphere in there where a lot of locals just come and hang out, and and they put on a huge festival up here every year also. It's called the Moonshine Festival, and I think they also have one in Dawsonville also. Not the same people, but I think
the Moonshine Festival in Dawsonville is going on for decades now. At first, it was highly regulated to the point where they could even sell, 5% of any type of moonshine.
Yeah.
They came down on really hard, but they've lightened those laws up a little bit. I'm not sure exactly with the big bill, beautiful bill from Trump, how that's going to affect everyone. I know the Georgia taxes itself is going to be in effect soon, so you guys need to check that out. But as far as like the alcohol sales and being local, the local businesses are going to flourish. As the corporations, I feel like are going to be a little bit more in a unit, like a unity. So,
yeah. Guys, as I said, this is the Mixed Experience. You can catch us on Spotify at the Mixed Experience, and you can also catch us on YouTube under Joshua Gaines, the Mixed Experience. And we also do live streaming on TikTok and YouTube, Facebook, mostly on Thursdays usually. And from there, we usually just chat with people and, try to promote the podcast a little more and get the word out there. Have people on, just, shooting the crap. So.
Yeah, guys, come join us anytime. Have good conversations, some fun, some hospitality. We'll go to a brewery. We'll have a good meal. And kind of break bread and catch up if you're old friends or new friends. We welcome everyone from all walks of life. And call in too if you guys, you don't even have to show your face on video. If you just want to call in, we got a phone number to dial. Just let us know exactly what you're comfortable with. If you don't want to show your face, just give us a call.
Yeah, and too, if you'd like to be on the podcast, hit us up in the comments, and you can join me at TikTok also at Josh Gaines 74, and hit follow, and I'll follow you back. If you'd like to be on the podcast, just send me a message, and I'll send you one back, and we can go from there.
If you really want to love a brother, hook me up. Follow me too. Patrick Sellens, the Imperial Hulk.
So, YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe. And to everyone out there that had a great 4th of July, that's working hard, God bless our troops. God bless America. And thank you, God, for keeping us all safe.
America, America, America.